You know that feeling when a raise finally comes through? That moment when you see the new number and your whole body just relaxes. Like you can breathe again? Like this. This is the one that changes things. I know that feeling. I have had that feeling. And I want to tell you something about it that nobody told me when I was living it. That feeling lasts about 3 months. 3 months after the raise, you are sitting in the same chair, looking at the same near-empty account, feeling the same financial squeeze you felt before the number changed, and you are asking yourself the same question you were asking before. Where did it go? If that has ever happened to you, and I mean at any income level, any country, any currency, this video is going to give you the name of the thing that happened. Because it has a name. And once you know it, you will stop blaming yourself and start fixing it. My name is Alim. I built this channel because I spent years watching smart, hardworking Africans, people earning decent money, people who were not reckless, people who were genuinely trying, feel broke in ways that did not make any sense on paper, and I kept seeing the same invisible mechanism behind every single case. Subscribe right now and give this video a thumbs up if you want to understand money the way wealthy Africans actually understand it. Because today, we are starting from the beginning. And the beginning is this question. Why does earning more never seem to be enough? Let me introduce you to Chidi. He is 28 years old. He works at a logistics company in Lagos. Last year, he was earning 150,000 naira a month. This year, he got promoted. His new salary is 220,000 naira a month. That is a 70,000 naira raise. 70,000 naira. That is real money. That should change things. When Chidi got that promotion, he sat in his car in the car park of his office building for 5 minutes just breathing. He called his mother. She cried a little. He cried a little. He drove home and ordered jollof rice from the nice place, not the corner spot he usually goes to, the actual nice place. He figured he had earned it, and he had. He absolutely had. 3 months later, Chidi is sitting at his kitchen table at 11 p.m. looking at his UBA account on his phone. The balance is 12,000 naira. Salary comes in 8 days. He has been paying more in rent because he moved to a slightly better place. The old neighborhood felt wrong for someone on his new salary. He upgraded his data plan. He started buying slightly better food. He said yes to social invitations he used to decline because now he could afford them. And his car needed repairs. And instead of the cheap mechanic, he used the proper workshop because he finally felt like he could. Every single one of those decisions made sense individually. Together, they consumed 70,000 naira of raise before Chidi ever felt it. This is not a story about Chidi being bad with money. This is not a story about discipline. This is a story about a mathematical law that operates on every salary increase in every African country, whether you are earning naira in Lagos, shillings in Nairobi, cedis in Accra, or pounds in London, and it operates whether you are aware of it or not. The only difference is whether you know it is happening. The salary trap is the African name for a universal financial phenomenon. Western economists call it Parkinson's Law of Money, named after a British historian who wrote in 1955 that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. A later generation of economists noticed the exact same principle applies to money. Expenses expand to fill the income available to pay them. What this means in practice is brutally simple. When your income increases, your lifestyle upgrades to match it, not because you are reckless, not because you lack discipline, but because an increase in income changes how you see yourself, how others see you, and what feels like the appropriate standard of living for someone at your new income level. The upgrade is partly chosen and partly unconscious, and both parts are completely predictable. I want to say that again because it matters. The salary trap is not a character flaw. It is a mathematically predictable pattern, which means it can be predicted, which means it can be interrupted, which means you can beat it, but only if you know it exists. And I need you to understand that this trap does not discriminate by income level. That is the part that shocks people the most. Research from financial behavior economists, and I am talking about people who have studied this across dozens of countries, including African economies, consistently shows that the percentage of income saved does not automatically increase as income increases. People who earn more spend more. The ratio stays roughly the same or worsens because higher income comes with higher social expectations, higher lifestyle costs, and more opportunities to spend. Someone earning 220,000 naira in Lagos is not automatically more financially secure than someone earning 150,000 naira. They are often exactly as financially fragile, just at a higher altitude. The drop is equally far. The only difference is the numbers are bigger. This is why you can find people earning genuinely good salaries, people in professional jobs, people who are clearly successful by any external measure, who cannot cover an unexpected car repair without borrowing, not because they are irresponsible, because the salary trap consumed every increase they received before it could become security. Let me show you exactly where Chidi's 70,000 naira went. Because the math of the salary trap is the most important part of understanding how to escape it. Step 1. Taxes. Chidi's raise did not arrive as 70,000 naira. In Nigeria, the progressive tax system means higher income is taxed at a higher rate. After pay tax, the 70,000 naira raise arrived as approximately 52,000 naira in additional take-home pay. The raise was already 26% smaller than it appeared before he spent a single kobo of it. Step 2. The rent upgrade. Chidi moved from a one-room self-contained in Surulere to a one-bedroom flat in Yaba. The difference? 30,000 naira per month in additional rent. That is 360,000 naira per year. His 52,000 naira additional take-home pay just became 22,000 naira from a 70,000 naira raise. Step 3. Lifestyle creep. This is the one that operates below the level of conscious decision-making. Better data plan, 3,000 naira more per month. Slightly nicer groceries, 5,000 naira more per month. Occasional bolt rides instead of Danfo, 4,000 naira more per month. Small upgrades that each feel completely reasonable. Together, they cost 12,000 naira per month more than before the raise. His 22,000 naira is now 10,000 naira. Step 4. Social inflation. This one is specifically painful to name because it feels like the most human part of the trap. When Chidi was earning 150,000 naira, he had a ready excuse for every expensive invitation. He was on a tight budget. He could not really afford it. At 220,000 naira, that excuse disappeared. He said yes to the awambe that cost him 15,000 naira in asoebi and contribution. He agreed to split the bill at the restaurant because it felt petty not to when he was finally earning well. He bought the drinks at his cousin's birthday. 15 to 20,000 naira in 1 month of social spending he would previously have declined. His 10,000 naira is now negative. Chidi did not fail. Every single decision he made was individually defensible. The apartment made sense. The data plan made sense. The social spending made sense for someone at his income level. But the individually reasonable decisions produced a collectively devastating outcome. And this is precisely what the salary trap predicts. Every time, without exception. Now, here is where it gets really interesting. Because the salary trap is not just a financial pattern, it is a psychological one. And there are 3 specific mental mechanisms that make every spending decision inside the trap feel completely logical. The first is what I call the deserving loop. When you get a raise, you get it because you worked for it. You delivered results. You sacrificed. The promotion is real evidence of real effort. And so every spending decision that follows carries the same justification. I earned this. I deserve this. I have been working too hard for too long to not enjoy this. The deserving loop is not a character flaw. It is a completely human response to achievement. But it has no natural stopping point. Every purchase gets the same pass. And collectively, the passes add up to the entire raise. The second mechanism is future income discounting. This is the habit of making spending decisions based on the income you expect to have, rather than the income you currently have. Chidi signed the Yaba lease not just thinking about his 220,000 naira salary, but about the 300,000 naira salary he expected to have in 18 months. He bought slightly more expensive things because he was calibrating to a future version of his earnings that had not arrived yet. This is not irrational. Income does tend to grow across a career, but it means that at every income level, spending is calibrated to a higher income level than currently exists. The gap never closes because the calibration is always ahead of the reality. The third mechanism is relative deprivation. Once Chidi moved into his Yaba flat, his reference group changed. His new neighbors had nicer cars. His new colleagues dressed differently. The professional peers he now socialized with had different standards. And Chidi's brain, operating exactly as human brains have always operated in social environments, began measuring his lifestyle against theirs rather than against where he had come from. The raise that felt abundant when measured against his previous life immediately began feeling like barely enough when measured against the new social context it had placed him in. These three mechanisms do not require you to be foolish to fall for them. They require you to be human. Which means every person earning a salary in every African city right now is navigating them. And most are losing to them without ever knowing the mechanisms have names. So how do you escape? And I want to be specific here because I know that this conversation can feel heavy, and I do not want you to leave with insight and no action. The escape from the salary trap is a strategy I call the income firewall, and it is built on one fundamental reframe that changes everything. Most people think of savings as what is left after spending. The income firewall flips that completely. Spending becomes what is left after saving. You automate your savings before your lifestyle can claim them. You make the money invisible before the salary trap can find it. Here is exactly how it works. 4 moves. Move 1. On the day your next salary arrives, before you pay any bill, before you order anything, before you transfer anything to anyone, you move a fixed percentage directly into a separate savings or investment account, not after expenses. First, before anything else touches the money, I started with 5%. I am not going to pretend I started with 20. I started with 5% because 5% was the amount I could move without panicking. 5% of my take-home salary went into a piggy vest vault the morning it arrived. I did not feel it leave. And within 90 days, my lifestyle had adjusted to the new normal without my conscious permission. That is how the brain works. It adapts to what it has. Give it less, and it adapts to less. Move 2. When you get your next raise, the next time your salary increases, you implement what I call the split rule. Half of the additional take-home goes to savings. Half goes to lifestyle. Not all of it to savings. You are not a monk. You earned the raise. But half of every future raise goes to building wealth before your lifestyle can claim it. This one move, consistently applied to every raise from this point forward, changes your entire financial trajectory because the salary trap only works when it gets 100% of your income increases. Give it 50% and keep 50%, and the trap is broken. Your lifestyle still improves. Your wealth also builds. Both things happen simultaneously, which is exactly what the salary trap is designed to prevent. Move 3. Audit your lifestyle creep every 90 days. Set a calendar reminder for 90 days from today. On that day, sit down and look at 3 months of transactions. Find the subscriptions you do not use. Find the convenient spending that crept in. Find the upgrades that happened automatically when the income changed. Ask one question about each item. Is this worth what it cost me in working hours? You will be surprised how often the answer is no when you frame it that way. Move 4. Build your expense floor on one income. If you have a partner who also earns, if you are a dual income household, this is the most important move in this video. Size your non-negotiable fixed expenses so they can be covered by one income alone. The second income becomes entirely discretionary. Savings, investments, wealth building. This is how households escape the salary trap permanently. Not by earning more, by refusing to let both incomes get consumed by a lifestyle that requires both incomes to survive. Let me bring you back to Chidi. Because his story has a second chapter, Chidi finds this video. He watches it at 1 a.m. the night after he sees his 12,000 naira balance, and he does not feel ashamed. He feels something more useful. He feels like someone finally explained the mechanism. Like the thing that was happening to him was not personal. It was predictable. And predictable things can be changed. The next morning, the day his next salary arrives, Chidi moves 10,000 naira straight to Cowrie-wise before he pays a single bill. 10,000 naira, not because 10,000 changes his life, because it changes the pattern. 3 months later, his lifestyle has adjusted to working with the remaining amount. Not dramatically, he did not suffer. His brain just recalibrated. The 10,000 naira per month becomes 20 when his next raise arrives because he applies the split rule and half the new take-home goes to building wealth. 6 months and Chidi has his first 100,000 naira emergency fund. He has never had this before, not because he suddenly earned more, because he stopped letting the salary trap get there first. The 12,000 naira balance at 11 p.m., the moment that felt like failure, was not failure. It was the last night Chidi operated without understanding the trap. And understanding the trap is where the escape begins. The salary trap is not a Ghanaian problem. It is not a Nigerian problem. It is not a Kenyan problem or a South African problem or a diaspora problem. It is a human problem with an African intensity because African currencies depreciate, African inflation is higher, African financial safety nets are thinner, and the cost of getting the trap wrong in an African economy is steeper than in a Western one. But the income firewall works in Naira. It works in shillings. It works in cedis and rands and pounds and dollars. The mechanism of the trap is universal, and so is the mechanism of the escape. You now understand both. What you do with that understanding, that part is yours. If this video gave you the name of something you have been living without being able to name, smash that like button and subscribe. Share this with one person in your life who is earning good money and still wondering where it all goes. Because the answer to that question is what we just covered. And nobody deserves to spend another salary cycle inside a trap they did not know how to name. I will see you in the next one.